Hello viewers, this is Paladin of Odin, and this is some more Magic the Gathering Online. This is another episode of the Standard Commentary series. Okay, so first turn Swift Spear, second turn Eidolon of the Great Revel. Surprisingly, I haven't seen a lot of mono red decks play this card. Though, to be perfectly honest, I can also understand why they don't, because most of their cards trigger the Eidolon. So, Swift Spear and Eidolon swinging in to the hanger back. And what did he play? Searing Blood. Yow! Turn 3 and he's down to 9. That is brutal. At this rate, the Eidolon isn't going to matter to the mono red player. Or, his triggers aren't going to matter. And he concedes, because really, that was brutally fast. He had a really good starting hand. We didn't really get to see anything from the blue-black player, so we have no idea what his deck is. Alright, opening Temple of Deceit. Hopefully the red player, nothing against him, but hopefully he won't have such a damn good hand so we can actually find out what the blue-black player is playing. Alright, first turn Swift Spear again. If he plays an Eidolon on second turn, I hazard to guess that the blue-black player might just concede on the spot. Foundry of the Conclave. Or Consoles, sorry. This one really isn't a pet peeve of mine like Demonic Pact is, but seriously guys, this is not a good land. Alright, Lightning Strike to punch it up to 5 this turn. And Ultimate Price. Okay, so it's down to 3 damage. But like I was saying, this is not a good land to play in, tournament standard decks. When it comes to the point that you can activate this, it means you are tapping 5 mana and losing this land to get 2 1/1 flyers. So, unless you're running acceleration, we're talking about turn 6, and this is all you're doing. This option is pretty much pointless. A Radiant Fountain is a much better choice because at least it immediately gains you 2 life. So he lost Exquisite Firecraft, but to be honest, that's, from what I've seen from his deck, it's, that's just the top end of damage. He doesn't necessarily need it to win. But back to my rant. Yeah, don't play this, people. If you want a pseudo tricky land, just go with Radiant Fountain. It gains you 2 life. It taps for 1 colorless mana. Or Darksteel Citadel, a much better land. It's indestructible. It's an artifact. He's playing blue. He could ensoul it, or just replace it with, if you have room, put it in another Temple of Deceit, or the blue and black gain 1 life land. Because even if you're playing against a slow deck, which unfortunately for him he's not, I mean, Abbott, Swift Spear, Dashing Zergo. Alright, let's see what his response is. Murderous Cut on Zergo. So like I was saying, replace it with almost anything else, because it'll work out so much better for you. Because even if you're playing against a really slow deck, this is not value. Silumgar, the Drifting Death. Okay, that might be able to turn it around for him. He's a 3/7, so even if he didn't have Hexproof, the red deck would have a really hard time dealing with him. And then on top of that, a lot of his creatures have very little toughness. I mean, granted, a lot of them have 2, so you'd have to have another dragon to kill them all, but... Oh, and he has a dragon, Thunderbreak Regent. I have to be honest, I would just attack here. Because most likely he would just block the Abbot, and you'd get through for the Swift Spear. Sorry. But, if you had a combat trick, you'd be doing extra damage. I mean, against a Silumgar, your little guys really aren't that important. Alright, Duress into a 2-mana or 2-card hand. This is actually a really painful thing for the mono red if he has anything to discard. Because he loses Exquisite Firecraft. Ow. But he does have another Abbot, which could... I don't really see it turning the table, but he can pretty much play anything that comes off the Abbot. And if you heard that, I want to say boat motor just now, that was actually my dog under my computer desk snoring. Alright, here comes the Abbot. Let's see what he gets. He gets Stoke the Flames. That's the name of that card. Stoke the Flames, not Scour the Flames. I couldn't remember the name of that card in my in the last video I recorded. Yeah, you might as well attack all out, because with the new Abbot, you have enough mana to cast the Scour. Or did I just call it Scour again? Stoke! Get that through your thick skull! Stoke the Flames! So that is a viable play right here. Now, he can block either one of these or this one with perfect safety of Silumgar. If he blocks here, the Scour goes to his face for 4. He's taking an additional 5. Ooh, that would be... Ow. But at the same time, if he blocks the Abbot, takes Scour to the face, that's 10. Alright, Murderous Cut. Oh, wow. Murderous Cut on the Thunderbreak Regent. He's going to get a Lightning Bolt to the face. So he can block the Abbot, Stoke to the face, and take 6. Oh, he's blocking the Swift Spear. So actually he's going to be at 1. That is a very risky proposition. He's got 1 card in hand. Or, yeah. The mono red deck has 1 card in hand and he's duressing. And it's a mountain. Okay. Yeah, no reason not. Well, yeah, it kills off the abbots, but not having a blocker leaves, you have the option of being Swiftspeared. He has one card in hand, so it is possible he has a creature kill. So something like that might not work. But at the same time, he's at 1 life, so any direct damage to the face. Okay, Treasure Cruise, so his hand's up to 3 now. Temple of Deceit. Yeah, the odds are in the red deck's favor here. All he has to do is draw a burn spell. And he didn't play the mountain. I mean, I don't really see a reason not to. He knows it's in your hand. He knows it hasn't left your hand. But everything is stacked in the red deck's favor at the moment. He has a healthy life total to tank the damage from the dragon. Hangerback Walker for 2. Okay, leaves himself with 3 open mana. Alright, he plays the mountain. And doesn't play anything. But he doesn't really need to at the moment. If he's not drawing what he needs, he has an envelope of safety. Artificer's Epiphany. But the problem is, the longer it takes him to get what he needs to kill, the more opportunities the blue and black deck has to save himself. And I just thought of a tactic that the red deck might be using. He might be trying to get 2 burn spells so that he can throw 1 out to possibly be countered and then follow it up with the kill stroke. And at the moment, that would be the best case scenario. Worst case scenario is he's drawing dead. And now it comes down to this turn. Either you have it or you don't. Lightning Berserker. Actually, now the Foundry actually might save him if he remembers to do it. And he does. I talked a lot of trash about this card, and all that still stands. It is not a good card, but in this one rare instance, and there's Stoke the Flames. Yeah. Not a good card. So that was Mono Red Aggro versus Blue Black. I want to call it Control, because that's the best I can come up with. And if you liked what you saw, hit that like and subscribe button.